and horror. And am I here for a play date or am I here to fix your fridge?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be kind of a fun one. I haven't done a tag video since God was a boy. I mean, I have not done a video like this in a really long time. So I thought it would be really fun. I saw my sister Ashley over at, well, her channel used to be called Joyful Chaos. Now it's called Ashley Wilson. But she did this tag and I just thought it was really fun. So, and hopefully it will help answer a lot of the questions that we get asked a lot. All right, so let's not waste any time. The first question is, and some of these are gonna be like, oh, we already knew that about you, because if you've been watching us for a long time, you will already know some of these things. But the first question is, how many children do you have? And the answer to that is 7. What are their ages? 11, 9, 6, 4, and 5 months. Okay, question number 3 is, what is your family structure? We have 2 biological children. Our other 5 children are adopted. 2 of those were adopted as embryos, so I did carry them in my belly. So yeah, we kind of have a very interesting and different dynamic to our family for sure. Number 4 is, how old were you when you had your first baby? I think I was 22. Yes, I was 22 when Kennedy was born and 24 when Shelby was born. Number 5 is, were they all planned by you and your partner, or did you leave it up to God? No, all of our kids were planned and tried for. Number 6, what is your favorite reaction to telling someone how many children you have? Y'all, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. This depends on the day. This is probably gonna make me sound like a really bad person, but if I'm like at the nail salon getting a manicure, I will never lie about how many kids I have. But if someone says something like, oh, do you have a son? I'll say, yes, I do, and just leave it at that. Like, I don't always go into the full story, because especially if it's something like that where I'm trying to just relax, as soon as you tell people you have 7 kids, they just start peppering you with questions, typically. And so if it's a situation where I'm just trying to relax, I really want to avoid that at all costs. But I mean, people don't really know what to say. So they all kind of have the same general reaction, which is, oh my, well, you really have your hands full. Or sometimes if they don't realize the kids are ours right away, they'll say, oh, is this a daycare? And I'm like, no, they're all mine. So yeah, we get very varied reactions. Just the other day though, we went to lunch and these 2 young guys came in behind us and they said, oh my gosh, are all these kids yours? And we were like, yeah, they are. And he's like, that's so awesome. I love big families. I'm one of 7. And we were like, oh, that's really great. So I don't feel like we have, I would say like 10% of the time we get a really positive, encouraging, I love big families are awesome, like that kind of reaction. 90% of the time it's shock and horror and ugh. People will say things that it makes me uncomfortable, because people will say things like, oh, well, you're a better woman than I am. No, I'm not. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I really struggle with, people just don't know what to say. And so they say the same platitudes that they've heard other people say. They say the same cliche things like, well, you really have your hands full, or do you know what causes that? As I'm looking at my black son in the cart. Like, what do you mean, what causes that? It surely isn't what you're thinking. It just makes it frustrating because people don't know what to say, and so then it just makes the situation awkward, honestly. But that's just been our experience. Number 7 is, how do you usually handle negative comments? This is really tough for me, you guys, because over the years, I've grown a really thick skin. People won't always get you. They won't always understand you. They won't always really understand why you would live the way that you live or do the things that you do, and that's okay. Like, everybody has to make their own choices and live their lives, and it takes all kinds, and if we were all the same, it would be so boring. So some people want no kids, some people want 1 child, some people want 10 kids. I think that if you are taking care of your children, it doesn't matter whether you have 1 or 10, it's really none of my business. So my reaction to the negative comments is usually just, if it's online, then it's just an eye roll, delete, move on, whatever. If it's in person, you know, I'll usually make some comment about how grateful we are to have these children, and we're really blessed to have these kids, and you know, they're 2 handfuls, but we love it, you know, that kind of thing. I don't generally like to make people uncomfortable by being snarky. I don't know, as long as I've had my coffee, I'm usually not very snarky about it. I'm usually just like, okay. What does it cost to feed your large family? I mean, I would say, I really hate to say it costs a lot. If we were to go to if we go to Chick-fil-A, it's $40. Fast food is not inexpensive for us like it is for other people. Like, let me just go get $1 or whatever. That kind of thing is not. So eating out, like eating at a restaurant, pretty much never happens. We almost never take all of our kids to a restaurant unless there's like a kids eat free event or it's somebody's birthday or something like that. We pretty much never go and eat at a restaurant, and we try to make the best of like sharing meals for people who can share them. Like our 6-year-old son could out eat my husband, so he's not sharing a meal with anybody. But Jonah and Rosie can share meals. My 4-year-old and my other 6-year-old, they can share meals. So we try to save money that way. As far as groceries go, I mean, I want to say we spend, and I know that there are some really frugal people who are really good, and this is something that I really want to work on this year, especially as all of our kids are growing and eating more, and now we've got 7 mouths and the babies are going to start eating regular food this month. So our grocery bill is only going to keep going up. So right now we probably spend about $300 a week on groceries. Like I said, I'm sure that that's a lot. I know other large families that spend less than that, and I know other large families that spend a lot more than that. So right now we're at about $300 a week, I would say, on groceries. Do you plan to have more children? So the answer to this is no. We really do feel very complete with our 7 children, and as a family of 9. I've always said never say never. We do not intend to have any more biological children or me to ever get pregnant again. That's not happening for us. But I will say, this doesn't happen, so I say this with a little bit of jest, but like if someone drops a baby off at my door and says, I want you to adopt my baby, I'm not going to say no. But yeah, someday we would really love to look into maybe fostering and that kind of thing. You never know what the future holds, but we are not actively seeking out adopting any more children or anything like that. Number 10, what is your family vehicle? We drive Tony the Iron Van, which is a Nissan NV 3500. It is a 12-passenger van, and I love it. I know that I've said this before, it looks like a refrigerator repairman's vehicle. Like, am I here for a play date or am I here to fix your fridge? You never really know for sure. I love it. I love it. It feels really safe. It's steel reinforced on the sides. It drives really well. It can haul things. So if we do ever buy some kind of a trailer or something for traveling and camping, we can haul things. We can haul it. Yeah, it's just so practical. We are able to take, because of the way the seating is, we're able to take seats out. Let me know if you guys would like a tour of the van, if you want to see kind of the functionality of it, how we have seats arranged, the pros and cons. I would be happy to do that video if that's something that you guys would be interested in seeing. Number 11 is, do you ever eat out? I've already answered that. We do sometimes eat fast food for sure, but as far as like going to sit down restaurants, like I said, that is a rarity for us. How much milk do you go through in a week? I would say probably 4 gallons, probably 4 gallons at this point. I think that sounds about right. Number 13. How many rolls of toilet paper do you go through each day? I don't know. I don't think, probably 1 full roll. I mean, the thing is 2 of my kids are in school. 2 of them are in diapers. So, I mean, there's really just me and 3 others. So it's really like 4 people. So maybe like total with all 3 bathrooms would be a full roll of toilet paper a day, roughly. We usually buy big, huge packs of toilet paper when it starts to run out, so I don't really pay super close attention to toilet paper consumption. Maybe I should be though. Number 14, what is your favorite go-to meal? Taco soup. Easy, 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 and pretty much everybody loves it or can find some way to doll it up so that they'll eat it. I have a few. We really like taco soup. We have this one-pot meatball lasagna thing that we make. We do a lot of breakfast for dinner, which is super quick and easy. I realize you were only asking for 1, but there's a few that are like on our go-to list. How do you spend one-on-one time with each of your children? I will not lie, this can be super, super challenging. It has been exponentially harder with the arrival of our twins. I'm a firm believer that there's a season for everything, and so I try really hard not to beat myself up over the fact that I'm not able to spend as much one-on-one time with my other 5 children right now because I have twin babies, because they won't be babies forever, and then we'll be able to kind of go back to how things were. But if you watch our vlogs, you know that we try to do one-on-one dates with our kids. If I'm going to the grocery store or my husband's going to the grocery store, we'll just take one of the kids with us so they can be alone with us. We'll take, like with the older girls, I try to take them to the movies. My husband will take the little kids sometimes to go see kid movies. And we try to do things like that. And yeah, I mean, it takes work. It takes intentionality for sure to be able to really make sure that you're spending that time with them. It can be really, really challenging. But typically, prior to the twins' arrival, I felt like we were doing a pretty good job of it. And I still do. Considering all things considered, I do still think that we're doing a pretty good job of it, but I know it could be better. Like I said, though, this is a season and the babies won't be babies forever. So yeah, that's kind of how that looks for us. Number 16, how do you manage the clutter? Oh, the clutter. Let me tell y'all, I have been going on a rampage through this house, trying to get rid of stuff, declutter, throw stuff away. For the first time in my life, I am really, really cutthroat. And I have a whole series of videos I've been doing, kind of sharing our organizing along the way and getting ready to do the pantry this weekend. And maybe tomorrow we're gonna start working on the kids' rooms some to really get rid of stuff. I have so many thoughts on this, so many feelings about clutter and things, and my mindset has shifted dramatically over the last couple of years about how I feel about what kind of things I have in my house and how much of things I have in my house, that kind of stuff. So if it weren't for the fact that I have the babies who, you know, don't give me more than 30 minutes to an hour to work on any one task, I would probably be just spending my entire day organizing things right now if I could. Like, that's where my head is at. And I think that's where a lot of people's heads are at, because I was at IKEA yesterday and it was a madhouse with people buying stuff for organizing. The like storage container area, it was like Black Friday in there. People were like fighting over Tupperware. It was nuts. Number 17, do you homeschool, private school, or public school? We do a combination of homeschool and public school. So 2 of our kids go to a charter school, which I've had a lot of questions about that. It's technically a public school, it's free to attend, but it is run through a charter. So their curriculum is different, their standards are a little different than a public school. It's not funded by the state. So that's kind of the difference. I've really, really loved it this year. Nothing's perfect, but it's been a really good thing for 2 of our kids. So that's the situation there. And then our oldest 2, Kennedy and Shelby, who are 9 and 11, are homeschooled. And I don't know if we'll homeschool them forever. It's working for us for right now. It's what they enjoy. It's what I enjoy. So we're gonna keep kind of pushing forward with that. It has been really hard with the twins, but we make it work. So I think, again, it's seasonal. You have to be flexible, that kind of thing. So, but that's a great thing about homeschool, is it allows you that flexibility. Number 18, how do you manage the chaos? Y'all, it's, again, it can be really tough. It can be really loud. It can feel really, really chaotic. My husband and I have had to work really hard to overcome our desire for everything to just be like calm and quiet all the time. We both prefer that state, like mentally, we both prefer for things just to be calm and quiet. But growing as much as our family has in as short of a time as it has, and having so many little ones, it's just not possible. And we have been trying so hard over the last year to relax and laugh things off, not take ourselves so seriously, not take things so seriously. So dealing with when the kids are all running around screaming in the playroom, dancing, I have to say to myself, like, okay, that noise is more than I want to listen to right now. But they are all having fun and they're getting along. So I'm gonna close the door and I'm just gonna go in the other room. I'm a person who needs times in my day for silence and quiet. I just need that to like recharge myself. So constant noise and chaos is not a state I like to live in. So we do try really hard to teach our children appropriate times to be loud and crazy, and when it's time to be calm, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't handle it perfectly. There's definitely times where I like lose it and I'm like, I just need everybody to be quiet. But which of course yelling at other people to make them be quiet is so ridiculous. but there's times that I feel like I can't hear myself think. But there's also so many times that are filled with so much laughter and joy and happiness that it definitely overrides the times that it's out of control. All right, number 19, what do you do if you get free time? In my free time, if I'm not working or taking care of the kids or taking care of the house or whatever, you know, my husband and I work together on all of these things. But in my personal free time, I love to go get gel manicures. I really feel like it's worth the money to me. I mean, I'm kind of a basic person in the fact that I do just like to go get a cup of coffee and stroll around Target or Marshall's or IKEA, that kind of thing. I enjoy time with my girlfriends, we love to go get Mexican food, and I'll have a margarita or, you know, whatever. I enjoy like connecting with my friends. Sometimes I just want to do things alone by myself. I love listening to podcasts or reading books or listening to audiobooks. So if I'm in the car going somewhere, without my kids, I'm surely listening to a podcast or an audiobook and just, you know, decompressing. I'm really hoping this year to run a half marathon. It's one of my big goals for the year. So that is another thing that I enjoy doing for me, is running. All right, the last thing is, what is your number one tip for other large family moms? Oh gosh, I don't feel qualified to give tips to other large families. I feel like I could speak a lot of life into moms with just a couple of kids, encouragement and stuff, but other big families, my number one tip for a large family would be to stay connected with your partner. I think that is the ultimate thing that matters the most. Is it can be really easy to forget and lose the relationship with your partner because you're so focused on your kids and keeping your house running and everything. But that relationship is at like the head of everything. And so I think it's so incredibly important to keep each other on the same page and keep each other as a priority. All the things, if you know what I'm saying, all the things. And just staying really closely connected so that you can better parent all of your kids. We enjoy being together. We enjoy spending time together. And so it makes even the chaotic, crazy times fun and worth it. So that would, I guess, be my only piece of advice to another big family. All right, guys, that's it for this large family tag, big family tag. Hopefully this answered some questions for you. I actually talked about some things I don't think I've ever talked about, so that was kind of fun. Leave me a comment down below and let me know, like, how big is your family? How many kids do you have? I would love to, like, hear some of your answers to these questions. And if you don't have a large family and you just have other questions related to being a large family, leave those down in the comments too. All right, guys, thank you so much for spending some of your very precious time with me. It really does mean a lot that you would take time out of your day to sit down and watch one of my videos. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys again really soon. Bye.